Welcome once again to How to Relate to Anyone. Here is Dr. Orv Owens.
Well, welcome back. I want to do a little quick review of the last lesson where we went from analyzing down to condemning. And all of that, as I mentioned, is neurotic behavior. It's called neurosis, and basically it's looking for something that's going to destroy me, something that's going to wipe out what I'm doing, something that's going to make me look bad. A neurotic person, and I hate to say this, but majority of our population are neurotic. You think about this. How often do people say, well, I might look bad. Well, I can't wear that. That doesn't make me look, it's all I can't. And the I can'ts are neurosis, neurotic behavior. It's told in one study by the US government that about 64% of our population are neurotic, suffer from neurosis. And it's just poor decision making. It's not really a disease, it's a system of decisions. So, if that's you, my advice to you, and this is my professional advice, as kind as I can make it, stop it. Cut it out. As my dad used to say, cut that out. Just stop it. Stop analyzing and censoring and condemning people. I mean, you can pick people apart so fast. And one of the great places to do this is at church. People sit in the pew and say, wow, look at that blouse. Wow, look at that hairdo. Wow, that person in the pew in front of me needs a haircut. It's all neurotic behavior. And it's a type of mental illness. It doesn't seem that way because it seems like all I'm doing is seeing things for what they really are. Well, I've got good news for you. You can take one step above the line that we're going to talk about in a future lesson. And right above the line is simply recognition, which is the opposite of, I don't want to hear any more about it. It's a decision. So I had a lady chew me out. She said, you know, I've heard you speak, and I think what you covered is a bunch of trash. You're leading people down pathways that just psychobabble. I said, oh, well, thank you. I really appreciate your opinion. I listen to everybody, and if I can learn something from other people's opinions, that makes me a better speaker. I just chose to stay above the line instead of saying, well, who do you think you are? What are your credentials? You know, and that's all below the line stuff. I'm not going to do that. So when people take a shot at me, I just say, thank you, I appreciate your help. You know, I listen to everybody. Some things I plug in and some things I choose not to, but I listen to everybody, and I appreciate your opinion. Everybody has a right to their own opinion. Stop being defensive and living below the line when people take a shot at you. Just consider the source. The lady who was chewing me out after my speech was a person who obviously had some real problems because she was so negative. She didn't want to hear how she became so negative. People will listen to what I'm teaching you, and they'll either take it and use it, or they'll say, it's a bunch of psychobabble, which is exactly what it is. It's psychobabble. But if you'll listen to it and plug it into your life, it's going to help you stay more positive, more productive, better working relationships. Seems to me that's well worth taking a serious look at, because too many of us live below the line, and as a result, we're shooting ourselves in the foot day after day after day, literally turning people off with our comments. destroying our own body with a negative body chemistry that's created by fear emotions. So what we want to do in this lesson is look at the next step down beyond neurotic behavior to paranoid behavior. Oh, that sounds scary. Paranoia. I'm sure you never go there, but as I go through this, you might know a lot of people that go there regularly because it's easy to go there. Because once you've gone down to condemning on the neurotic level, it's real easy to take the next step down. And the next step down is distrust. If what I'm hearing from you doesn't ring true with me, I don't trust you. I don't think I can believe what you're saying. I don't think I can accept what you have offered me. I don't believe. I paused there a little bit so you can think about it for just a moment. When you did that the last time, maybe a half an hour ago, I don't know. We do it without thinking about it. I just don't think I can accept this. It's called paranoia, and it's concern about what's going to happen to me if I accept this, whatever this is. It's pulling away, setting up defense mechanisms. Everything is out to destroy me. That person's just trying to put me down. In my business, where I do public speaking, when I speak for a convention, they take a survey of responses of people, and about somewhere between 10 and 15% of the surveys show up negative in my part. I've seen, and I get all these reports, and it's good feedback because maybe I didn't cover something well. But I hear comments like, "Where did you find this loser? This is one of the worst speakers I've ever heard. No value to anything he said." Pretty drastic stuff. That's down below the line. That's down to paranoia. Wasted my time sitting and listening to this jerk. I'm the jerk. And what I have to do is say to myself, is there a way that I can make what I'm teaching more clear so that people can, this person that had difficulty with it, could understand it? I'm going to stay above the line and look for ways to be creative to not create that kind of response. That's my responsibility. I'm the speaker. I'm the lecturer. True in these videos that we're doing. You know, if you don't like something I say, you can email me, and I'll accept your email and listen to what you have to say. We welcome that. It's the only way you can grow is to take negative feedback. Negative feedback helps you become positive. So, when we're at this distrust level, no matter what you say, I'm going to question it. It just puts me in a frame of reference where I question everything. I pause there because now you've thought of 5 people you know that question everything you say. That's where they're living, right at analyzing, censoring, condemning, and then finally distrust. It's paranoia. What if? On the positive side, the opposite of paranoia is what if? Can you hear the difference in the tone of voice as opposed to what if? What if? That's an open mind. What if is a closed mind. And it's at the distrust level. I don't think I can trust this person. Our relationships with others start when we walk into their presence, and you'll be able to sense this projection almost immediately, because no matter what you say, they're going to say, yes, but. Or I don't know about that. So now you know that's where they are. If you're a salesperson, you better get them out of that, up above the line, or you don't have a prospect. You have a suspect. So you need to work at opening their minds by building value, and you do that by asking questions. I'm going to keep saying that through all of this series because you have to ask questions to move people up above the line. If you could know, if you could see, if you could prove, if you could see proof, would you be interested? Well, distrust will cause you to become apprehensive, which is the next word. Apprehension. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm afraid I'm going to move in the wrong direction. I'm afraid. That's apprehension, where we start becoming defensive and putting up escape routes. How can I get out of this situation? How can I not put myself where I'm vulnerable? Do you know that you have to be vulnerable to grow? If you can enjoy some personal development, you better become vulnerable. You got to try some new stuff, and you might fail the first time. When you learned to walk, you didn't walk the first time you tried. And that's been true all your life up to this point. So don't put limits on how many steps you're going to take that you've never taken before. Because as soon as you do that, what you're doing is you're closing the door for personal development and developing natural abilities into capabilities. Boy, if you could know how much natural ability you have, natural ability that is untapped. The average American uses about somewhere between 15 and 20% of their natural ability in a lifetime. Wow, what could have they done if they just moved up 10%? Who knows? Might have been the inventor that invented whatever that changed the world. Apprehension. It's a scary thing. I just don't feel secure. I don't feel safe. I'm not comfortable. Well, if you want to be comfortable in everything you do, stay in bed. With an air mattress, preferably. There's a lot of give. But if you want to grow, and if you want to develop, you need to conquer the apprehension when it manifests itself to you. Now, with your clients, when they hit that apprehension, what they're afraid is that they're going to make a decision and regret it the rest of their life, if you're a salesperson. With an employee, they're afraid they're going to try and fail and have egg all over their face and look like a total mess, a total failure. As a manager, you need to tell your employees, I want you to fail as often as you succeed. Because if you're failing, you're trying something you've not done before, and you're going to learn. You're going to learn just by trial and error. Thomas Edison is a great example of that. Every failure was a step towards success in his mind. Just another step. If you would take that attitude, you would never move down to this level of apprehension. You'd never be there. Well, when you have clients there, you got to get them back up above the line, or else that apprehension will cause them to set up psychological blocks and defense mechanisms and push you away. And they'll give all kinds of excuses. Can't afford it, don't have time, we were thinking about something else. And those are just escapes from decision making. Same thing with employees. Why don't you get somebody else? I'm not really good at that kind of thing. That's where you are, that apprehension. It's a mental illness, come on. It's paranoia behavior. Don't tolerate it in your life. And don't leave your clients there, and don't leave your employees there. As soon as the employee says, I'm not really equipped, I'm not qualified. Well, that's my job to make sure you're qualified. That's why they call me a leader, a manager, a supervisor. Whatever the title is, it's turning people into a growth posture where they're learning new things, developing new skills, and becoming more effective in their job situation. Well, when you allow apprehension to control your thinking, it just automatically moves you right down to envy. Envy is when, why can't I have the peace of mind that that person has? Why are you putting me in a position where I can't be happy? Why are you putting me in a position where I can't succeed? Why are you putting me in a position where I'm going to fail? It's a envy of a safer positioning, a safer environment, a safer responsibility. Safe means I've done it before, so I can do it again. Unsafe, if there is such a word, unsafe is trying something new that I've never tried before in my life, in front of the world, with everybody watching, with everybody seeing the results. I learned at a very young age that trial and error is a way to develop any skill. My dad was a singer, tenor singer. He sang in church and sang solos, and he also sang in quartets, and he sang in a choir. And so as we drove in the old Buick back in the 40s, he would sing because we didn't have a radio. And he'd sing all these songs, and then as I got a little older, I started singing along with him. And then as I got into my teenage years, I was majoring in music in high school. I was in the a cappella choir and the swing choir, and I was taking voice lessons, and all because Dad got me started on that way back. And people who will not stand in front of a microphone and sing to an audience are allowing fear to control their talent. And I developed my singing voice by doing it. When I was 15 years old, I went to Myron Frank's in Portland, Oregon, and there was a guy up in the art department painting with oils. And in just a half an hour, he turned a canvas into a picture. I said, that looked pretty easy. I think I can do that. He just splashed stuff around, and all of a sudden it looked like a tree. So I went home and took some of my dad's house paints, because I didn't have oils. Just some of the paint had sand in it. Remember when they used to put sand in paint? I was painting on cardboard boxes, painting pictures. I've been painting ever since. I've got some paintings that have been pretty well received. Am I an artist? I think I've developed some art talent. Am I a vocalist? I think I've worked hard at taking lessons and practicing and learning to control my singing. I sit before this camera looking at you today, and I'm a public speaker. Do you know how I become a public speaker? By speaking. First time I sang a solo at church, I was 14 years old. And they said, we want you to sing that song for the whole congregation. I sang it in youth service, got up and stage fright hit me, and I couldn't remember the words. The piano player played an introduction, and I went, So she played the introduction again, once more, and I walked off the stage. But when I walked off the stage, I vowed I will never allow that to happen to me again. Not that I'm never going to sing again, but I'm going to be so prepared that there's no way I can forget the words. Every mistake you make is going to cause you to move down to this envy of I need to be safe. I need to be in a position where nobody can see me in a bad light. I don't want to fail in front of the world. Hate to tell you this, if you're going to grow, you're going to fail in front of the world. You're going to make mistakes. And like Thomas Edison, the more mistakes you make, the closer you get to success. Just count them up as a learning experience. You got to go to school to learn math. You got to go to school to learn foreign languages, and you make a few mistakes before you ever pronounce those words right. Let me challenge you. Make a lot of mistakes today, and you'll be surprised how much you're going to grow.